Tonight, we uncover a story the music world never expected to hear. A brutally honest confession from the man who spent 6 decades writing poetry for the restless hearts of 3 generations. Bob Dylan, the voice of a revolution, the poet of the 20th century, the musician whose lyrics reshaped folk, rock, and protest music forever, has finally opened up at 81 about the musicians he quietly despised working with. Dylan, known for his cold silence, mysterious personality, and habit of disappearing from interviews, rarely talked about his real feelings. But sources close to him say age has changed him, and now he's ready to say what he held inside for decades. From studio disasters to explosive clashes of ego, from artists who misunderstood him to bands who tried to control him, Dylan allegedly carried grudges deeper than anyone imagined. Tonight, we reveal the 5 musicians Bob Dylan secretly couldn't stand working with, and the untold stories behind each clash. Number 1, Paul Simon. At the top of the list sits one of the most surprising and fiery rivalries in all of music. Bob Dylan and Paul Simon, 2 poetic giants, allegedly shared a deep, unspoken dislike for decades. Sources claim Dylan found Simon overly competitive, insecure, and obsessed with comparing himself to Dylan. Paul Simon, according to insiders, felt Dylan's shadow was too big and resented always being mentioned after him. Their attempts to collaborate were awkward and short-lived. Rumor has it that during a private jam session, Simon kept suggesting changes to Dylan's chords, and Dylan whispered to a friend, "He wants to write my songs for me." On a tour in the late 90s, witnesses claimed they barely spoke backstage, despite sharing the same bill. Their rivalry wasn't loud. It was quiet, cold, intellectual, and deeply personal. And that brings us to the end of today's uncovering of truths. Bob Dylan, a man whose silence has always been louder than his interviews, finally let the world know who pushed him, pressured him, or simply clashed with him during his journey across 6 decades of revolution and reinvention. Every legend has scars, even the ones carved in poetry and song. Which revelation surprised you the most? Tell us in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe to Legend Uncovered, and turn on notifications so you never miss another deep dive into the hidden stories of music's greatest icons. Number 2, Joni Mitchell. One of the greatest singer-songwriters of all time, Joni Mitchell was never afraid to criticize anyone, especially Dylan. Joni publicly accused Dylan of being fake, of reinventing himself too often, of hiding behind myth instead of showing his real self. And Dylan? According to insiders, he despised working with her after those comments. Sources say Dylan thought Mitchell was condescending, constantly analyzing him, telling him how he should write or sing. During one legendary studio gathering in the 70s, Joni repeatedly tried to correct Dylan's phrasing as he played guitar. Witnesses claim Dylan finally put the guitar down and said, "If you want to sing the song, sing it. I don't need a teacher." The room went silent. Their respect as artists stayed intact, but their working relationship never recovered. Number 3, the band. It shocked fans when Bob Dylan allegedly admitted that working with the band, his closest collaborators during the Electric era, was far from perfect. While they created iconic music together, the relationship behind the scenes was full of arguments, creative jealousy, and endless power struggles. Sources say members of the band felt Dylan got all the credit while they did most of the arranging. Dylan, on the other hand, allegedly felt the band treated him like a dictator, expecting him to guide every note while they complained about being overshadowed. Rumor has it that during their late 60 seconds sessions, Dylan walked out multiple times, telling a friend later they wanted freedom, but expected me to lead them like a father. The tension sparked some of rock's greatest music, but also some of its biggest fights. Number 4. George Harrison. Yes, one of the quietest and kindest Beatles allegedly had a rocky relationship with Dylan. Though they shared deep mutual respect, insiders reported that working together was painfully difficult. Dylan supposedly felt Harrison was too emotionally sensitive, taking every studio suggestion personally. Sources claimed Dylan once said Harrison was a beautiful soul but impossible to edit. During the traveling Rivalries sessions, witnesses said Harrison would keep rewriting chords and structure, trying to perfect the songs, while Dylan refused to change anything once he wrote it. Their musical chemistry was strong, but their working styles clashed so hard that producers had to separate their writing sessions to avoid arguments. The world never saw it, but the studio walls did. Number 5. Tom Petty. To the world, Bob Dylan and Tom Petty were a dream duo during their legendary True Confessions tour. But behind the scenes, insiders claim Dylan was deeply frustrated. Tom Petty was a perfectionist, obsessed with rehearsals and fine-tuning every detail, while Dylan wanted raw, loose, and unpredictable performances. Sources say Dylan told friends that Petty was too neat, too careful, too afraid to let mistakes create magic. Rumor has it that during rehearsals, Petty repeatedly asked Dylan to follow certain vocal cues, which Dylan absolutely hated. Witnesses claimed Dylan walked out of at least 2 rehearsals, saying, "I don't follow anyone's script. Not now. Not ever." Their friendship survived, but the tension was real. 2 legends, 2 visions, 1 stage, and a whole lot of backstage storm clouds. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.